Hello, 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 and welcome back to Birdwatch, the great pop culture debates fashion review series for the Drag Race UK 2 season. I am your host, Eric Resniak, returning to take back the throne after Curtis Creekmore, or as I call him, Mary Queen of Thoughts, tried to stage a little coup by putting the charisma and uniqueness in COUP. I am joined today by my extra special guest judge, Kevin Bleyle. Hi, Kevin.
Hello.
Kevin, have you ever been stoned on the runway before?
No, but some of the fashions I wore in the 80s, I deserve to be.
Oh, gosh,
How
I
about you? Have you
miss
ever been
80s.
stoned?
You know, only in my past life during the Salem witch trials.
Yeah.
But that is the theme for episode 8 of RuPaul's Drag Race UK 2. So we are going to get right to it. We're going to toot, boot, poot, shoot, and moot the looks from the main stage. And with that, I'm going to jump right into it. Our first girl up was Ahora. Kevin, what did you think?
I like to be wowed when they walk around the corner, and there just wasn't the wow factor. I mean, she's always beautiful. It was nicely put together. Clearly, she put a lot of stones on it. But it reminded me of season 13, the Ivy bag that I believe Joey J did. And it didn't wow me, but it was good. It met the request of stone. So I gave it a 2.
Yeah, I'm tooting it too, but it's a pretty meh of a toot. I'm tooting it because it is objectively pretty, but we have seen the IV bag, I want to say 3 or 4 times at this point. It's not interesting. Let me put it this way. If Joey J is doing something on the runway, generally speaking, you should not be ripping that off. Now, I understand this happened. This was recorded before Joey J did his. I get it. But still, the point remains. That is not the bar you should be shooting for wowing me, especially when it's like the final 5. So it's a toot. It's just not great. We're moving on to our second girl, Ellie Diamond. What did you think, Kevin?
So I like Ellie. Her aesthetic is not the one that I particularly love. I like the version that's done a little bit more interesting, not quite as cotton candy pop. And she seems to have the same basic silhouette, same general look almost every time. Trixie Mattel can pull it off because she's a little bit more edgy. Ellie's starting to get a little boring. Again, she met the intent. She had stones. She had attention to detail, as they pointed out. There's stones on her nails. There's stones in her hair. But again, it was a soft toot.
I'm booting it. I agree with you completely that
wow.
She has the same silhouette virtually every time. It's almost always a little flare skirt with some big shoulder pad situation. And to me, there's nothing here that is interesting or refined. I hate the nude silhouette on the top. I think she's trying to give me like bare chest with jewels dripping down. It doesn't read like that at all. It just reads like beige. Who wants like this is, I think, one of the worst things she's worn, honestly. I can't even toot it because it meets the brief. So for me, it's a full-on boot. Like final 5. And you can sew, and that is what you're bringing? Absolutely not. Moving on, we have Bimini Kevin, what do you got?
So for me, Bimini was the only one that tried to do something interesting, tried to do something a little bit different. She had a theme. I don't love the theme. I think the theme is a little gross. And I also think in general, the garment is kind of plain and boring. It's just leggings and a coat. Now, she did a lot of work to put the stones on it, and like she came out with the theme. So she's the only one that I would give a strong toot to, but it's still just a toot. It's not anything. It didn't wow me.
Yeah, it's a toot for me because this was the most creative and interesting look on the runway. But do I like it aesthetically? I don't. It is, as you said, an oversized coat and some leggings. I couldn't even really figure out what was going on her neck. Was it a turtleneck? I couldn't quite get it. It's an interesting concept, and I really appreciate that for Bimini. If you've been reading our blogs, you know that this has become a Bimini Bomb Boulash Stan account. But when it comes to the pimples, I was a pizza-faced fat boy as a teenager, and I'm having Noxzema PTSD. Like, I just can't get past it. So for me, I'm gonna toot it, but I can't love this for that reason. It's way too real and not in a good way. Next up we have Laurence Courtney. What do you think, Kevin?
So I absolutely love Laurence. I love his personality. I love that he knows how to pad and dress for his body type and body size. Um, this to me, though, again looked like most of what he's done. Now, he did a lot of work. He put a lot of work, a lot of stones, a lot of crystals. So again, I give it a toot, but it's not one of his better ones, and it didn't wow me. And not that it has to do with the actual outfit, but I also thought that he was pretty mean to Ellie throughout the whole episode. So I think that stuck in me a little bit and just made me think, I'm not as impressed with this as I normally would be.
Yeah, so for those watching, as of today, Laurence deactivated her Twitter because she's getting so much pushback from what happened this episode. She's getting a lot of heat on social media. It was not a great look for Laurence. If you are so inclined, check out the blogs we have at greatpopculturedebate.com. In the bonus section, I blog each episode and I give my thoughts on this whole thing. For this look, of course, pause for a bad pun, I'm going to toot this. I do like the concept. It's an interesting idea, but I don't think it's great. I think I would have liked this so much better as a gown, because everything from the waist down is giving me Danny DeVito as the Penguin, and Batman Returns needs to go to the free clinic. It's pretty intense, you know what I'm saying, and not in a great way. But I love the headpiece, I love the shoulder piece, I love the concept of the whole thing. It's a Steven Universe fantasy. I just think the decision to make it a bodysuit was not a great one for Laurence. So it's a toot and that's it. And finally, we have Taste. What do you think, Kevin?
So Taste to me is always beautiful. I think body type, face, how she paints. But I've never been overly impressed with most of what she's put on her body from a clothing standpoint. And I know Michelle was just really interested in this one. And I said, it's a bra and panties with a couple added things on. So to me, I almost mooted it, but I'm going to give it a super soft toot, just because it's pretty and it met the intent. It still wasn't anything stupendous.
So I think you all know Kevin is clearly much nicer than I am. I am going to go ahead and moot this. You pointed out that we have seen a very similar silhouette from Taste over and over again. Taste is a fashion queen, and I have never been this underwhelmed by a fashion queen on any season of Drag Race. Earlier in the season, Ru was reading Portia Coffee over and over again about having this amazing body that is an incredible hanger for clothes, and she keeps coming out in this regional drag, and here's Taste just giving us this really unexciting silhouette over and over and over. It's some type of elaborate cap sleeve and either a very short skirt or like a bikini type bottom. I'm sorry. Is it pretty? Sure, it's pretty, and it meets the challenge, but it's just not exciting. And when you're being this weak, frankly, throughout most of this competition, and we're at top 5, and you're a fashion queen, you should be snapping my neck on the runway every week, and I'm barely getting a neck ache. Like it's not enough. So it's a moot for me for Taste. With that said, that's it. Kevin, who is your top toot of the week?
You know what? I have to go with no one.
I also have to go with no one. There is no top toot of the week. A girl has no name. It was just fine, I guess, but we need more. And this has been a great season of UK too, and I'm absolutely loving it. But this was a real whiff of a week when it comes to fashion. So thank you so much for watching our little videos. Thank you so much for Kevin for participating. I want to make sure that you check out our other Drag Race fashion reviews on our YouTube channel, and make sure that you like and subscribe to see what else we have. Now seasons 1 and 2 of our podcast are actually now fully up on YouTube. So if you haven't listened to them, check those out. And make sure you go to greatpopculturedebate.com, where we're running fan pools for both UK2 and season 13. And coming soon, as of today, Drag Race Down Under, the New Zealand spinoff. The cast was just released as we're recording this, and we will be doing a fan pool for that as well. Kevin, I hope you'll be joining us. And if you're interested, it's open to everybody. It's completely free. So go put another shrimp on the Barbie. We're out of here for now. Pip, pip, cheerio.